Hello everyone, my name is Kita, and today we are going to be playing I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. Oh my gosh, so much happened. We met the Overseer, we got some, philosophical opinions from people. What the heck were we doing? We're low on stress, almost maxed out biology. Trying to get our bravery up there. The only thing is, I don't know if anywhere else has a boss event. Alright, so let's go ahead and explore nearby just to see if there's an event there or not. Oh, we've already done this like a lot of times. Okay, so this just is the last event probably of the area. Okay, gotcha. Well, that's a bit of a wasted day, but okay, I guess we know that now. Okay. I guess I'll just go... Oh, nice! Our bravery leveled up. Reduce exploration stress. Oh, that would have been nice, like, years ago. Every event in exploring costs us only plus 10 instead of plus 15. That's great! I could have used that years ago. I wonder if stuff carries over. I think I've already asked that. I was hoping... Alright, well, I can't rely on my usual tactic, I guess. Wasn't somebody... No, Diz's birthday is in late wet, and I think there's only one birthday cake left, if I remember right. And we're saving that for Diz. Yeah. I'll buy it ahead of time. Yeah. Ha. Oh, that's cool. Actually, that's really useful. Plus 50 combat, that's a lot. That's a lot of money, though. They have a fidget spinner. Vintage focus device. Okay, call it whatever you want, I suppose. Hey, buddy. You spot Diz about to head out on expedition. He's carrying a full backpack with a second one at his feet full of surveying equipment. As you approach, you realize he's writing in a notebook. An actual notebook with paper and everything. Braced on his knee with one foot on his equipment. He looks up at you as you approach and closes his notebook, slipping it into the jacket pocket over his heart. Oh hey, Kita, he says, tucking the pen behind his ear. That's cute. Are you coming too? That's cool. Maybe we'll be posted near each other. What are you writing? Just stuff. This says dismissal. It's a diary, isn't it? I like writing on paper. It feels more real, you know? And it's more private than having everything on your holopalm where people can find it. You beg him for more details. Diz huffs through his nose, but he looks amused. Just stuff. He repeats. How I'm feeling, what the weather is like, what people are doing around the colony. I like observing people. Oh yeah? Anything about me in there? Sometimes I pretend I'm an alien, he continues, and I'm studying how people act so I can blend in. I already asked that! Do you ever write about me? Diz goes red and ducks his head. Well, sure, he says. You're part of the colony, right? And you're my friend, so of course I write about you. You're about to ask to see, but you're interrupted by Utopia calling for all hands to board the expedition vehicles. Diz stoops to pick up the surveying equipment, then he's gone without another word. Come back here! No! I have to know! He must not want you to know what he's writing about you. Curious. Curious indeed. Alright. Oh, there's only one more heart left. That's probably why. I want to know. Getting out my giggles at the moment. You know someone's got me good in a game when I giggle at what they say. That's how you know I'm smitten. I don't do that in real life, though. I just kind of stand there awkwardly looking at the ground. Let's forage in the valley. I don't... Again, I can just load back in if it's the same event again, but I don't want to miss anything, you know? And I feel like I've gotten to the point where there's not a lot for me to find. There's Utopia. What's up, girl? The paths are narrow and in constant need of repair. There's a team working here trying to repair one of the jelly arches has collapsed and covered the path in 30 centimeters of sticky goop. Utopia waves you over. Hey Kita, can you give us a hand? We can't get vehicles through here until this is cleared, and it's going to take all day. You might have a better plan. I have a better plan. It was biology. Okay, well, instead we're gonna do this. 4, 5, 6, Dang it. Okay, crap. Get some stuff for that. There's 2, 3, 4, but that's going to increase in value. 6, 4. Nice. Oh yeah, you've seen this stuff desiccate in low humidity, like in dust. You throw powdered desiccant over it and let physics do its work. It's easier to plow through a bunch of slumped up granules of desiccant gel than it is to shovel all the slimy muck. You save a few hours. Nice. Oh, nice. Oh, we maxed out our biology. Great. Enhance your DNA in engineering. Oh, there is a manticore problem. I'll go check that out in a hot minute. Give me just a second. Alright, Manny. Let's have a look at you. Oh, hold on. There's a flower and that. Alright, what's up? You come across a terrible scene. A manticore has cornered a young hopeye and is playing with it, batting it around and catching it over and over. The hopeye is screeching in terror. It's a horrible thing to watch. Try to break up the fight. You leave the hopeye alone. Alone, I say. Da-da-da-da. 4, 3, 2. Bam. Nice. You quietly climb up into a tree first. Manticores can't climb trees. You're pretty sure you remember hearing that. We don't even know. You'll try to scare the attacker away by hooting and throwing rocks. Hate memory. You put on your scary face and try to frighten it away. The manticore is so annoyed by your throwing rocks and making a ruckus that it turns its attention to you. It roars in anger. Shivers of fear run up your spine. That's definitely a better scary face than yours. The hopeye who had been playing dead suddenly leaps to his feet and bounds off into the jungle. The manticore is now very angry with you. It rears up and digs its claws into your tree. You hold on for dear life as the tree shakes. It roars and rustles its mane at you, pacing back and forth under the tree. Then it sniffs around where the hopeye had been, grunts one time in frustration, and wanders off into the jungle. You stay in that tree for another hour before you dare to come down. Scary, but you saved that little hopeye's life. Heck yeah, I did. Alright. That's all I wanted, I guess. I saved a hopeye, guys. So it's really important. Just increasing 2 skills I have maxed out already. Early wet. Oh, it's Mars's birthday. I'll give her a crystal. Hey, Mars. Nope, crystal. There we go. Last one. Here you go. Ha! Mars laughs, taking the crystal and turning it over in her hands, inspecting it. Well, I've had better birthday gifts this year, but I admit this crystal is pretty fabulous. I'll add it to my collection. Oh boy, Mars, you want to talk to me? Oh boy, I'm so excited. Be nice to me, I have no persuasion. You approach Mars, who's deep in negotiations of some kind with Tangent. When Tangent sees you over Mars' shoulder, she points and says your name. Thank you, forces of chance and chaos, Tang mutters, slipping away as Mars' attention turns to you. She's your problem now, Kita. Thanks, bestie! Thank you for leaving me alone with her. Mars pretends not to hear. Kita, she exclaims, you're looking hideous today, darling. Luckily, I'm doing makeovers and fashion advice free of charge. Okay, that's a thing we're doing now. What's the catch? Mars smiles. No catch, she says smoothly. You just have to try my new line of clothing and give me your honest opinion. Come with me. Mars is directing you to her room. I've been working on these designs for weeks. They're fresh off the printer, and I'm dying to see how they look on a regular person like yourself. Mars's room is a riot of sparkling fabric. Oh my god. My first fashion line is all about dressing for the seasons of Vertumna, Mars says as she ushers you inside. Yellow and angular for dust, airy and pink for pollen, stuff like that. If we ever make it back to Earth, I want to be known as the visionary who brought Vertumna home. That's a great idea. Mars shrugs. I know. Okay, I hate you. You never take anything I say positively. You're just like, oh, I know, darling. Screw you. Mars indicates the pile of outfits on her bed. Well, what are you waiting for? Chop chop! You try on outfit after outfit, letting Mars scrutinize your silhouette and bearing. She seems genuinely focused on how the clothing performs. Finally, you finish trying on all the outfits. I think the glow jumpsuit is a winner. Go ahead, put it back on. Mars instructs, then we'll do your hair and makeup. You sit on her bed as Mars pulls out her box of cosmetics. A day look, she asks, or something more bold for nighttime. Something flashy. Yeah, I knew she'd like that. Mars smiles at you with all of her perfect teeth. A woman after my own heart. Mars does your makeup efficiently, then pulls out a bottle of bright blue nail polish. One more thing and the look is complete. Mars paints your nails, humming tunelessly while she works, and voila, she says when she's done. This was fun. Mars smiles and caps the bottle of nail polish. And informative, I hope. Blue is definitely your color. Well, yeah, we got blue hair, so I would... Okay, I was scared for a second. I was like, my game glitching, but... Everyone's talking to me today. You bump into Tangent after a routine checkup in medbay. Kita, could you wait a moment? I'm almost done. Let's walk out together. Dr. Instance gives you a curious look as Tang hurries to catch up to you, but goes back to her work. You wonder if Tang needs something from you or just wants to hang out. Lately, it seems she has less time for her friends, preferring to work late at the lab. Maybe she's lonely. Ah, nice weather we're having, Tang says as you walk outside. You look around, it's pretty normal for the season. She clears her throat. It's so different here than it was in space, she says. Growing up in a spaceship was so clean and tidy. Here I'm constantly sweeping pollen or dust or spores or what have you off of everything. There was a mushroom growing in the corner of the bathroom the other day. I kind of like it, honestly. Yuck. Tang says, wrinkling her nose. You can have it. You walk for a few more minutes. Tang clearly has something on her mind, so you let her sit with it until she finally steels herself. I'm not very good at this sort of thing, she says slowly. So you know I've been working on a big project with the chief engineer? Yeah. You nod and she continues. Well, it's been going really well. I think we're finally over the last hurdle now. Governor Lum says it's going to change everything here on the colony for the better. Tang seems more at ease than you have seen her in years. Truly, I couldn't have done it without you, Tang says, a slight smile warming her usual expressionless face. Oh, you can kind of see that. There's like a softness to her face. I know I can be a hard person to be around, but I appreciate everything you've done for me, and ultimately for the colony and all of humanity. Happy to help a friend. Tang nods and shoves her hands in the pockets of her lab coat, apparently having exhausted her capacity for heartfelt conversation. Oh yeah, you're welcome. Tang always ready to help you, man. All you gotta do is just holler. I'll be right there. I'm a bro like that. What's up? You follow the sound of laughter and find Nami Nami and Rex playing catch. Or maybe the word for the game they're playing is more like fetch. Nami throws the ball as far as they can and Rex tears after it, climbing and leaping over anything in his way. like it's not even there. Rex hands the ball back to Nami, and Nami winds up to throw it again, but at the last second, they palm the ball and hide it under their arm. Rex barrels off away from Nami with his ground-eating stride and gets pretty far away before he stops and looks around confused. He looks back at Nami, who waggles the ball at him and bursts out laughing. Nami! He shouts, running back to them. He picks them up and hauls them over his shoulders, and Nami shrieks with delight as Rex spins them around. Two Helio kids in their crisp uniforms pass by, glaring archly at Nami and Rex. Rex sets Nami down, and then spots you over Nami's shoulder. Well, hey, it's Kita, he says. Nami turns around and gives you a stunningly bright smile. Rex slings his arm over Nami, and Nami lays their head on his shoulder. They're both breathless and beaming with happiness. Did I miss something? Are you two dating? What's the deal with your Helio friends? Rex and Nami look at each other and stick out their tongues. They aren't our friends, Rex replies, shrugging. All they want to do is act like mindless little soldiers and measure each other's dicks. He rolls his eyes. There's so many more fun things to do with... Nami thumps Rex in the chest. Don't be gross. They whine. Don't be gross. There we go. Sorry, Nami. Rex apologizes. I just mean we don't need anyone else. Ever since we were kids, it's been me and Nami here. They're my best friend, and I love them like my sibling. Nami smiles shyly and hides their face. Rex is my best friend, too. I think you two should date. Aw, buddy. Rex coos and wraps his whole body around Nami's smaller one. He kisses them noiselessly on the cheeks, snuffling into their hair, while Nami shrieks with laughter again. We were always the odd ones out in the heliopause, Rex says. People thought we were weird, you know? You probably don't see it because everyone is so awesome here, but compared to all the rest of those smug, boring jerks, we really stuck out. But I'd rather be different than be like them. He looks down at Nami, who beams up at him. And I got to be different with my best friend, which was awesome. We just hung out together and had our own fun while everyone else trained to be proper little soldiers. Right, Nami? Nami frowns. Like Vase and all of his cronies. They say quietly, it wasn't all fun and games. Rex shushes Nami and strokes his hand through their hair. I know, he says. That's in the past. We don't have to grow up to be soldiers. We're here now, and there's so many more people to be friends with. He shoots you a smile. Like Kita. Yeah, I'm your friend. Rex smiles and holds his other arm out to you. Group hug. Rex gives really good hugs, and Nami's no slouch either. We have to protect them from the evil that is Vase. I prefer to increase my reasoning, to be honest. Plus, we also get a logic bonus from... We can increase our thing in engineering! I almost completely forgot about that. Yes. To further your engineering knowledge, you're taking a mini-class with Chief Engineer Instance on the construction and maintenance of your holopalms. These devices are engineered bismuth crystals embedded in your palms when you start school. They use the heat and electric current of the human body to power themselves, to talk to each other, and to connect to the HoloNet. Congruence is massive repository of information. You can barely remember life before yours. Holopalms were commonplace by the time the Vertumian group first formed on Earth, and the square bismuth is grown in the lab, Instance explains. So the physical device itself isn't hard to maintain. The difficulty is in the display and touch interface. Instant opens her holopalm, displaying a visible projected screen floating above her palm. As chief engineer, she also has one of the fancier versions that combines with a pair of eyeglasses to superimpose a projection right onto what she sees. The interface relies on plasma voxel generators, which require extremely small components that are impossible to nanoprint. The material will have to be mined from Vertumna itself. Tang raises her hand. Is it possible to hack these devices? She asks, is the biological electronic interface so thin, is it possible to hack the human body? In a way, we've already begun to hack the human body, Instance replies. What do you call gentech? Everything the body does and is capable of depends on our 4 amino acids in different configurations. It's no different than congruence. Human and artificial intelligences are both built from a limited code and are transformed into more by the building. Your genetic enhancements, super hearing and sight, temperature regulation, increased resistance to fear, disease, and fatigue, all present in the human genome and unlocked by the power of science. The class splits into working groups to explore installing modules onto your holopalm. You and Tanja are in a group together. She begins installing a mod that will let her scan inorganic materials and get a reading of their chemical compositions. What do you do? Try to remove your holopalm. Oh. Download your own mod. Tang raises an eyebrow, impressed. What module do you choose? Game, something to help find lost objects. A radar speed gun. Something to help find lost objects. Ding! A portion of Congruence's immense and miraculous intelligence will now be dedicated to making sure you never lose your canteen or your sunglasses. Isn't technology great? Yay. I think we have really nice portraits. I just wish that we got to see like a full view of them. Because can you guys... Oh no, my chair is blocking it. It's a really nice portrait. I just wish I could see a full view of it. You see a notice on the engineering holoweb. Chief Engineer Instance needs someone to help with after-school tutoring. Literally anyone who isn't a complete idiot will do because she's desperate. Please apply. Sure. You tell Dr. Instance you're interested in the job. She looks up from her holopalm like she's just noticed you exist. Yes, you'll do, she says, nodding. The younger, slower kids have trouble keeping up with congruence sometimes. You mostly just have to pat them on the back now and then and stop them from wandering off when they're supposed to be studying. No offense, but anyone with a pulse could do it. You wait for further instruction. Instant sighs, shooing you away dismissively. You know where the classes are, just come when you're not doing whatever nonsense teenagers do here. I'm not a teenager, I'm an adult! I'm trying to get my upgrade. That's what it said, right? Biology, right? Extra enhancement perk. Enhance your DNA in engineering. That's what it said. This is engineering. Oh, I don't want to go right in immediately. We gotta go give Diz his birthday cake. Also, I want to see if there's another birthday cake. I specifically bought it last season to see if it respawns per season or if it Nope, it's per year. Okay, cool. I can understand that though. We get a lot of kudos now. So, hi Nami, give me just a second. Birthday cake! Oh. No, no, no. Diz shakes his head in frustration. Nobody ever asks me what I want. It isn't cake, not my birthday, not ever. You try to ask him what he does want, but he pouts and doesn't answer. What's up with this guy and cake? Okay, I thought everyone liked cake. I would have given it to Mars. Okay, I'll reload, I guess. Okay. I'm sorry, I thought you would have liked cake. My bad. I'll give you the strange device I have, I guess. Nope, this one. He scrutinizes the device for a bit, but then his shoulders slump. Did you give this to me because it's my birthday? He asks. I actually hate it when people make a big deal about my birthday. It's, look, maybe you should just go do something nice for Tang. She actually likes attention. Tang? Are we talking about Tang? Are you sure? Are we talking about Tang? The same person? Likes attention. Nami is in their usual spot in the lounge, trying to buy their steadily growing collection of body pillows and stuffed animals. They're curled up with their arms around a giant plushy creature and seem to be scrolling listlessly through the movies available in the Colony Media Archive. You okay? No. Nami pouts. I've been betrayed. I finished all of the Maid Stalker Ares and it ended on a cliffhanger. They tip over onto their side, clutching their plushie to their chest in anguish. I didn't know that the stratosphere had left Earth before the series finished airing. Nami whines. You have every episode except the two-parter season finale. Oh, that sucks. They bury their face in their hands against the plushie. No, I never know how it ends. They sniffle. It's just not fair. That we'll never have any new shows to watch. Maybe we can make up a new ending. Nami wipes her eyes and looks up at you hopefully. Really? They ask, you do that with me? Yeah, tell me all about Maid Stalker Ares. Nami launches into a full summary of Maid Stalker Ares, including everything down to the blood types and astrological signs of the characters. It's a lot to handle, but the two of you come up with a pretty good fan script for the missing episode.
And then Aries and Sagittarius embrace just as the light from the interstellar portal engulfs them, and the camera pans back to a ghostly image of Gemini's face smiling down at them from the spirit realm.
Nami claps their hands excitedly.
It's perfect!
They exclaim.
So much better than just leaving it right before this climactic battle with the Agents of the Stars.
They smooth down the fur on their plushie with a thoughtful look.
Thanks, Kita.
They say,
I was feeling so bummed about the cliffhanger because it just reminded me that even though everything ends, sometimes it's a lot earlier than you can handle.
Honey? Yeah, sure, that'll work. Honey, you don't gotta tell me that I had a friend die when she was 10 or 11 years old. Like, you don't have to tell me about things ending a lot sooner than they should.
When I got there, I remember looking at your huge media library thinking, wow, galactic! I'm never gonna run out of things to watch. It felt like the whole world was still ahead of me, ready to be discovered.
Nami dings their fingers into their plushie.
Now it feels like everything's just on fire all the time, and everyone is always on my case about how I need to grow up. What's so bad about being innocent? Why does everything have to be so grim all the time?
Life's hard, get over it. There'll be more good experiences. Nami nods, their chin wobbling as they try to keep it together.
Yeah,
they say, tipping their head up to the ceiling and trying to put on a brave smile.
that's a good way of looking at it, Kita.
Anything for friendship. I'm so upset this isn't like cake. I got like this extra cake and I don't know what to do with it. We're gonna go to engineering and see if I can actually trigger that event that has to do with my perk. Because I would really like to, you know, have that. You're in engineering very late today. You're starting to nod off and consider packing up for the night. You see Tangent and Instance leave their lab without locking the door. They're heading back towards the living quarters. Usually they're so cautious, but it's late and they must be very tired to have forgotten. They've been working on something together in secret. You want to find out what? Oh no. Yes, I do. I'm rebellious. Checking to make sure the coast is clear, you slip into their office. It's just off the med bays, and every flat surface is dedicated to experiments. The whiteboard is covered in dense scribbles and diagrams, and the garbage bin is filled with wrappers of discarded soil meal replacements. It smells like stale coffee and sleep deprivation in here. Their holoscreen terminal is still active. It seems strange what they left it on. You get the feeling that maybe they weren't done for the night. You'll have to be quick. Check out the experiments. Some of the experiments blink up at you and chirp miserably. Oh no. It isn't obvious at a glance what is being done to them, but they don't look happy. The cages are locked, but you might be able to free them.
Liberate!
Study the creatures more closely. Oh my god. You guys did not do this. You pore over everything Tang and Instance have been working on, slowly putting together the pieces. What you find is chilling. After researching the shimmer fungus together, they decided to bioengineer a more powerful virus that uses the same pathways, but only affects native Vertumnan creatures. It would sever the existing symbiotic relationship between Vertumna, fauna, and fungi and be completely fatal to its host. Oh my god. It would kill everything on the planet. Well, everything that walks, swims, or flies, leaving it empty and ready for human colonization, but why would they do this? You dig a little deeper and find not Instance's research logs, but her personal logs, written on paper with a cover page that reads, "In my defense, upon my death." You read through the papers in which Instance details being approached by Lum shortly after the Helio landed and he took control of the council. The Helio had been sent to retrieve congruence and bring to justice the people who stole her. Instance primarily, but also Hal and your mother. When they realized they could never return to Earth, Lum became interested in Instance's research instead, particularly her research into the Vertumnan ecology. Under threat of execution, Instance was essentially forced to pivot her research into finding a way to cleanse the planet for human colonization. She writes that she tried to shield the other scientists from her work for their protection, but that she couldn't keep the secret from her apprentice Tangent. She speaks highly of Tangent, almost as a mother would talk about her own child. She grieves, and she couldn't protect her too. You scanned copies of the missives. At least you have evidence now. It's a rebellion. We're going up against Lum. This is happening. We're gonna collect evidence and we're gonna throw it at people and be like, yo, uprising. And now it's Glow. Are we gonna talk to Tangent about this? Because I don't want to talk to Tangent about this. Because Tangent obviously wants to talk to me, but I don't know if that's a conversation I want to have. You know what I mean? Ah, there's a thing out there. Why does it always do this? I can never find Diz during Glow, and it always scares me. Oh, there he is. Oh my god. Oh my god, Diz. Diz. Oh my god, no. I can't do this. Oh my god. I didn't want to talk to him about this. Oh no. Diz flags you down outside the gates. He's covered in dust and grime. He must have just come back from an expedition. Hey, Kitty, he says, have you seen my sister? I went to drop off my gear at our quarters, and it looks exactly the same as I left it. I sent her a message on Holo, but she left me on red, sorry. He frowns and ruffles his hands through his hair. You work with her a lot, right? Is she okay? She's not living in the lab. I don't know if I want to tell him this. I don't think it's a good idea. Their relationship's already kind of, stiff. But I don't want to lie to Diz either, because I know how much he loves this planet. This might be why I don't want to tell him. I'm gonna tell him. I got to. Well, she's working on a literal plague. Diz gives you an incredulous look. Uh-huh, sure. A plague, right. I know my sister is a huge bitch, he continues, but she's not literally an evil genius. Ooh, Tang, destroyer of worlds. Seriously? Stop messing with me, we're too old for that shit. I'm not joking, Diz. The tone of your voice makes Diz pause. Wait, you're serious? That's what they're working on in there? You nod and give Diz a quick summary of what you've learned and how. By the end, he's gone so pale he almost looks green. I don't want to believe it, he mutters, but if what you're saying is true, it'll kill everything, won't it? Not just animals, either. The fungal pathways are integral to all life on Vertumna. Tang has no idea, does she? She thinks she's so smart, but she's always been too proud to get out there and dig around in the dirt to see what's really going on. This looks like he's about to be sick. If they release the virus, it'll be the end of everything, even the gardeners. Why it's a problem. Diz takes a few steps away and looks out into the wilderness, covering his mouth with one hand as he thinks. Eventually he turns to you, his face is expressionless. I'll take care of this. What are you gonna do? Diz starts, then lapse into silence. He stares past you at the engineering building. Just let me deal with this, Kate. Thanks for telling me. Don't do this. I don't know what you're doing, Diz, but don't do it. Bro. You're winding down for bed, scrolling through the colony social media when— No. Fuck this. No. Not my Diz. An explosion rocks the colony. You are pelted with knickknacks and mementos falling off your shelves as the blast wave rips through the living quarters, stealing the air from your lungs. Your ears are still ringing when you run out of the living quarters, passing people in various states of undress as you filter outside in shock. Outside, you're greeted by the acrid smell of burning plastic and metal. The engineer building is on fire. The laboratory and med bay wing is completely engulfed in flames, smoke pouring from the open door. Congruent's fire suppression system is doing its best, but everything in there is toast. The engineering equipment, the live experiments, the chief engineer's lab, and personal research all destroyed, and any samples of their engineered virus probably. You cover your mouth and nose with your shirt just in case. Tang pushes past you, getting a few meters closer to the flames of the entrance before she falls to her knees and clutches herself. She stares forward as if in a trance, a dark smudge of silhouette against the fire's blinding orange light. No rain today is the achievement. You look around and meet the eyes of the chief engineer. She looks impassive as always, her jaw sets as she watches the destruction of her work. For better or worse, they won't be releasing that virus anytime soon. The mood the next day is somber. You volunteer to help the construction crews pick through the rubble and sort it to be repurposed and put into the recycler. There's nothing left of the lab or Dr. Instance's experiments. The loss is incalculable. No more engineering, obviously, because also among the casualties are other more mundane projects like agricultural research and medicinal plants. The med bay can be repaired, but it might be a while. You check in on your friends, everyone is stunned, and a feeling of grief pervades the colony. The councilor members do a head count of everyone in their divisions. By midday, they send an announcement to everyone's hollow palms. Unbelievably, there were only a few burns and minor injuries, however Diz is missing. No one's found a body yet, but with great wariness, the council concludes that Diz must have been caught in the blast. His memorial service is scheduled for 1 week from now. You know better, though. You bet Diz set that bomb and walked right out the front gates in the chaos. Could I not have just talked to Tangent? And convinced her that this was not the way to go? I didn't Tang seems especially troubled today, so you invite her on a long walk around the inner wall. That's Tang's thing, thinking walks. She's touched that you know her that well. She walks in fitful bursts, then lapses into long silences. Finally, she stops and puts her hand on the wall like she's bracing herself. Kita, something's been bothering me, she says, clenching her other hand at her side. She collects her words with great difficulty. Is it morally defensible to do something that people would approve of if you're doing it in their best interest? What if you don't have a choice? That general question is yes. I know about the engineered plague. Tang smiles, though it doesn't reach her eyes. It was only a matter of time, I suppose, she says quietly. Sometimes it seems like you know everything that goes on in the colony. 90? What are we at? Oh my god, we're literally at 89! Are you serious? If I had the opportunity to give her one more fucking present. God damn it. Thank you again for your help, she continues. You really were instrumental in overcoming several hurdles, whether you knew it or not. Lemma's just using you an instance. So what, Tang retorts. I would do anything for Instance. Do you think it's easy being as smart as I am and constantly being held back because I'm just a kid? Instance is the only person in the colony who's ever treated me with respect. Tang sets her jaw. Without her, who would I be? An alcoholic like my mother? A dysfunctional loser like my brother? Hey, easy. You're committing genocide, Tang. Wrong compared to what, Kita? Tang says angrily. We're all going to die here if we don't do anything. Our explosives are going to run out and the attacks will keep happening. In the air or the food or the weather doesn't kill us first. Don't talk to me about morals. She continues. I'm doing what I have to do. If you want to survive, you have to make the hard decisions. This is a terrible idea. Don't do it. Tang rolls her eyes. What would you know? She retorts. You're just another ignorant ape, grunting fire bad without realizing you're looking at the future of humanity. She pushes herself off the wall and walks away, ignoring your protests. Looks like Tang won't be convinced. If you want any hope of stopping her in Instance from releasing the virus, you'll need to go over her head and plead with the governor directly. Or do something a little more drastic. Maybe you should go ask someone else who knows Tang really well.
Oh.
You'll talk to her? He says, yeah, I'll talk to her. He stares past you at the engineering building. Just let me deal with this, Kita. Thanks for telling me. I'm so scared for Tiz. What if he dies? It's Glow! Am I gonna have to go find him? Oh. That's it, I guess. Oh boy.
Diz is not dead.
Excuse me. No, he's not dead. Don't tell me I just locked myself out with Diz, please. Didn't impact anything at all. You hear a scuttling of metallic legs. What the heck? And a strange knee-high robot bursts into your engineering lab, going full tilt on its 6 spidery legs. It slams into a wall hard enough to knock itself down. It seems to be having trouble getting back up again, and it's flailing its metal legs around dangerously. Fix the robot? Okay, thank you, Congruent says, wheeling in on her portable screen. I was running diagnostics on the little fellow when it broke away and made a run for it. I really need somebody to be my hands here, she continues. Everything used to be easier with Hal around. I miss him. Congruence doesn't need to clear her throat, but you get the distinct impression she's simulating it anyway. If you want to come help me in the robotics lab, just come down anytime. Okay. Here we go. You're just putting your boots on to grab dinner in the lounge when you hear the colony sirens begin to wail. It's the yearly attack. They couldn't have waited until you ate dinner? Rude. Outside your window, you watch the colony defense begin to mobilize. Your holopalm chimes with the usual reminders for all civilians to stay indoors. Join the colony defense. You head to the garrison to grab a plas rifle, then report to the front. Chief Garrick looks surprised to see you, but assigns you to a squad with them and tells you to get up on the walls and do your best. On the other side of the walls is more Xenos than you've seen in one place ever. They seethe out of the forest, large and small, herbivores and predatory, fungal and otherwise, flying and crawling and hopping towards the colony with a single-minded determination. The air fills with the pew of laser turrets and the crackle of plas rifles. The enemy's front line collapses, only to be replaced by even more Xenos. Just as many as before, if not more. There's no end to it. The fire break turns into a graveyard of dead and dying alien bodies, wave after wave crawling over the corpses until they roll at the base of the walls like the foam on a wave when it hits the shore. You hear the walls creaking underneath you, but they hold strong. There is no sun to set and glow, but night falls on the battlefield without any break in the fighting. Your fingers begin to cramp from pulling the trigger of your plas rifle. Finally, you're relieved by the second guard shift. You walk straight into the garrison or right into a dreamless sleep. You're awoken 6 hours later for your next shift. The kitchens have provided the soldiers with pressed soy rations and hot blep tea, which you grab then make your way to the walls to survey the carnage of the night. As you arrive, your holopalm lights up with a priority message. Security personnel, we are under siege, the security chief says, getting right to the point. On our sieges were used to break a city by starvation or drought. We have plenty of food and water. Guards will rotate 6 hours on, 6 hours off. So long as we keep the Xenos on the other side of the wall, we can hold them off for days, weeks even. Weeks? Everyone exchanges exhausted looks. He pauses, then adds, we can do this, we're stronger than them, and we're not going anywhere. You and me, Nem, let's do this. You and the other soldiers fall into a fitful rhythm, alternating shifts on the walls with brief snippets of sleep. Gunfire becomes the soundtrack of your days, which begin to smear together like paste. Nem, in particular, is suffering. She volunteers for relief shifts, sometimes pulling doubles or triples on the wall. You catch her mechanically shoveling soy porridge into her mouth before seeming to fall asleep sitting up. A minute later, she jolts awake as someone's spoon clatters against their bowl. Tempers grow short as fatigue sets in. 6 days pass. You're on shift watching the Xenos batter themselves against the wall. You feel your eyes unfocused at the sheer formless horde of them. In all these days, they still haven't breached the colony. Sometimes they even seem to retreat, ebbing backwards and reforming somewhere else. It's behavior you've never seen before. A group of monsters breaks from the tree line, nothing new except for one of them. A gardener. One of the Xenos looks different from the others, almost humanoid. Wait, is that Nocticulant? Noctilucent? You'd sense that foul miasma of hatred from the other side of the planet. It has to be Noctilucent. They look up and see you watching them, then they scowl and step backwards into the shelter of the trees. Wait, come back so we can talk! Your offer is lost under the steady tattoo of gunfire while you tried. Finally, after the 6th day of the siege, you look down to the sight of your plas rifles and see a curious thing. The monsters are retreating. As you gather with the other soldiers in the colony square, your holopalm lights up with a priority announcement from Governor Lum. The alien attackers have been defeated, he says. The siege has ended. Lum smiles broadly and puffs out his chest. Another year, another win. You're welcome, Vertumna. You're welcome, humanity. You're welcome. You hear and see Chief Rhett nearby looking livid. What did he do? He rants to his security officers. Race out there like an idiot with his honor guard, defend strategically unsound positions, put himself in danger so we had to save his overstuffed ass? The soldiers all shift uncomfortably, but no one disagrees. And when I actually needed him, Rhett continues, taking his 12-hour beauty rest while the rest of us slog through endless shifts. The soldiers are exhausted from the siege, so the crowd in the square disperses quickly. Only a few Helios remain, covertly filming Rhett while he continues to rail against Lum. On the horizon, the first rays of quiet streak the sky with lavender. You watch Utopia's reclamation crew head out through the gates to begin vaporizing xenocorpses for their component molecules. That night you have terrible dreams. Oh, great. You imagine that you're sieging the colony, that you're a creature crawling in the mud on your belly, the ozone crackle of the plas rifle fire arcing overhead. With your taloned claws you rip into the walls like they're made of clay, stuffing choking handfuls of it in your mouth. In a moment of lucidity, you try to pull the clay from your throat, but no matter how hard you pull, it just never ends. You jolt awake when you realize you've been pulling out your own guts out of your throat. Just a dream. You're shaking and coated in a film of terror sweat, your heart pounding. You don't find sleep again before dawnbreak. But that was a lovely interpretation of what's to come. I really hope we didn't get rid of Diz. I really hope we didn't. I am so mad that we literally needed one more friendship point with her. One more. And we could have had that option available to us, and she wouldn't have done it. Probably. She probably wouldn't have done it. I really don't know, but she probably wouldn't have. I'm so mad about that. One more birthday. One more season. I could have given her a gift. We would have been good. I'm so sad. Where is Diz? Can I find him? Can I interact with him? Rex smiles as you approach, then looks concerned. You doing alright, Kita? He gestures to his face. You got a whole tired face. Don't talk to me thing going on. It's a real butch of you. I say as I hug him. He says as I hug him. You find Rex sitting in the bowl of one of the unfinished buildings, taking a hit off of a rolled cigarette that smells powerfully skunky. Really? He jumps a little when he sees you before relaxing. Oh, it's only you, Kita. He says, waving at the clouds of fumes and giving you a squinty-eyed smile. Don't mind me, I'm just testing some of the latest crops for quality assurance. Have a stick. New save, I guess. Diz left. That's what I'm gonna call it. I'm so sad. Why did Diz leave? He could have just walked out of the fire like it wasn't his fault. He also didn't like it here very much, so... Right, I'm gonna rest. I probably should rest in the... Hi. I should rest on the, Where is my mouse? In the garden. It hasn't been... Oh, well, I think I already read this. You're out of your bed at noon because you're allowed to, because it's your birthday, but also because you're exhausted. You barely slept at all last night. You've been having these nightmares since the siege, more and more every night. Like they're trying to tell you something urgent. Probably a next attack is gonna kill us all. You can't make sense of any of it. All the imagery is jumbled together, all these possibilities and timelines and things that might happen. Some nights you wake up in a cold sweat, a scream already in your throat. You sit on the edge of your bed, you run a hand through your hair and check your holopalm. A few people wished you happy birthday, but that's all. You guess you're getting older. Birthdays aren't as important as they used to be. Right, and Mars wants to meet you for lunch in the lounge today. You'll have to practice your smile. Go meet Mars. As you enter the lounge... What's up? Surprise! You do your very best to play along and act surprised. For the streamers, balloons, great. Oh, that's nice. That's sweet. Oh no, that's probably a picture of Tammy as an adult. Oh no. All of your friends are standing around wearing goofy hats and clapping. Nami is holding a bunch of balloons larger than they are, and Rex is wearing a cute little waiter's outfit with a bow tie. That's awesome. You accept their hugs and birthday wishes, trying to hide your exhaustion and demurring, with a few pointed, "All this for me? You shouldn't have. No, really." Rex wanders around with a tray full of little snacks, offering them to everyone with a vampy accent and a silly airheaded giggle. The goofball act chirps away at the natural awkwardness of the surprise party. That is, the first 5 minutes after everyone shouts surprise, and soon everyone is laughing and enjoying themselves. Despite your exhaustion, you start to smile too. Your friends are so amazing, and they're all here because they care about you. Then you get some unexpected guests. The lounge begins to fill with Helio kids, mostly ones you don't know, and the ones who usually keep to themselves, and, well, don't much like you original stratospheric kids. Vase and Nem are with them, his arm draped over her shoulders. Nems gives you a little wave of acknowledgement for your birthday, which earns a weird look from Vase. "Hey, who invited you guys?" Cal says, stepping forward with his hands clenched. "This is a private party." "It's a public lounge," Vase replies. "We can sit wherever we want." Cal stomps right into the midst of the Helios. "You guys think that just because you fell out of the sky, you're the wormhole's gift of Vertumna?" He spits out. "We don't need you. We never needed you. All you do is make things worse, like this party." You've rarely seen Cal so ready for a fight. He doesn't seem to care that the potty language of the Helio kids has changed from cocky to dangerous. You're just a bunch of fascists," Cal continues. "You and Lum." The lounge erupts. Oh wow. We're not close enough to either of them. Oh my god, if we're 1 point away from Nem. It's like 9 points, that's fine. You hear a bottle breaking and see someone advancing on Cal. He's not backing down. "Stop it!" Your voice is drowned out by their argument, then someone throws a punch and it's all chaos from there. Despite Cal's bravado and brawny physique, he's no one fighter. One of the Helio kids socks him in the stomach and he goes down like a felled gnarled tree. Rex throws himself between Cal and his assailants, catching a few kicks on Cal's behalf before the Helio kids get tired and leave, with a few parting shots at Cal's alleged romantic interactions with the float cows. Vase doesn't get involved, but he doesn't stop them either. He's the last to leave the lounge, staring at Rex before smirking and turning away. I hate Vase. And I'm actually starting to dislike Anemone. She let that happen. She let that happen. We both grew up with Cal. Like, what the hell? This was also my birthday party, and she was okay with them wrecking it? She gave me an awkward little wave. What the hell? It's a lot of mixed signals. Don't worry, they probably got it out of their system. Good on you for sticking up for yourself. Oh, I'm sorry. Rex helps Cal to his feet. "First time, huh?" he says, dusting off Cal's clothes. Don't worry, they probably got it out of their system. Good on you for sticking up for yourself. Nem lingers at a distance, clearly angry at Cal, but feeling bad about the fight. Oh, get out of here, Nem. I don't even want you here, to be honest. You're a traitor as far as I'm concerned. Well, Mars exclaims, clapping her hands. That was enough excitement, I think. Let's move on to the important part. Cakes and presents? Under Mars' skillful Pody hosting hand, the mood shifts back to festive. You enjoy your presents and your cake, but the tension boiling over like that is a bad omen for the rest of the year. Oh, great. Lovely, that. But yeah, he's right. The Lum is a dictator. It's exactly what he is. Anemone, I cannot believe you. Nem seems engrossed in her holopalm as you approach. Hold on, Kita, she says. I gotta finish this message to Vase. He gets so moody if I don't hollow him back right away. Girl, Girl, don't do it. Break up with him. There are so many red flags with that boy. Come on. I miss Diz. It doesn't surprise me we weren't close enough with Anemone though, because we didn't hang out with her a lot as children. We didn't do a lot of exercise. We went and explored a lot with Diz, but that was the gist of it. I guess let's try nearby first. I just need to find him. There's Sim. Ask him what the heck's going on. Ask him if he's seen Diz, maybe. We gotta find him. That's all I care about. We gotta find Diz. You're trekking through the wilderness when something catches your eye. To anyone else, it'd simply be a weird depression between two roots, but it pings something in your memory. Isn't this what the entrance to the Overseer's Cave looked like? You decide to check it out. Your hunch is correct. The depression opens up into a passageway just enough to wiggle your body through, then widens even more to reveal a familiar door. You quietly push it open. The room you enter is not unlike the one where you interface with the array. There is a vat in the corner emitting a soft organic glow, and another computer panel slowly being reclaimed by the rock wall. It's not hard to assume the planet is lousy with rooms just like this one, where Sim and the other gardeners can rest and respawn if needed. This one, however, is not empty. You enter to find Sim, who is aptly so, as naked as the day he was born. He's stepping out of the regeneration vat, clad only in strands of bioluminescent goo that slides down his long limbs and patters to the ground. Sim's back is to you, treating you to a glimpse of skin usually hidden under layers of tattered dark fabric. The knobs of his spine and shoulder blades visible under his inhuman musculature. He looks unusually delicate and vulnerable. He reaches up and gently wrings out his thick hair, humming a song you recognize from the Hollow Archives. As if sensing the weight of your gaze on his body, he pauses and slowly turns his head. "Kita," he says softly, "I didn't see you come in." This is kind of creepy. "I can see you very well, though." Sim tilts his head, smiling. "Oh?" he replies. He turns slightly, taking on a slightly more performative posture. Did I design this body to your liking? You have to say he did. Now that you know the truth about the gardeners, Sim continues, we can be far more free with our words. He gestures to the regeneration vat. I have very few secrets from you now. You can come take a closer look if you like. After a beat, he clarifies. A closer look at the vat, I mean. Oh, that's what you meant. You walk over and check out the vat. The air gets noticeably warmer the closer you get, like sunlight on your face, and there's a faint organic smell that's not unpleasant. The vat itself looks like something you'd find in engineering, but seems to be constructed entirely out of natural materials. Spongy-looking fungal growths, mineral deposits, and pulsating vine-like umbilicals. You can touch it, Sim says. It's not dangerous. You sit on the lip of the vat and run your fingers across the surface of the glowing liquid. A slight electric charge prickles up your forearm, and you feel the friction of a link to the array. Sim sits down beside you, now fully dressed. His fingers alight on the surface of the liquid as well, and you feel a slight presence at the edge of your mind, like a thought you can't reach. I'm glad we can talk freely now, he says. Is there anything you wish to know about me or the gardeners? Do you like being a gardener? Does the wind like being wind? Sim answers, I'm sorry to be cryptic after I told you I would not, but there really is no other way to answer that question. I am what I was created to be, continues. There is a beauty in that, and a clarity of purpose that makes me feel fulfilled. I do not experience existential angst like a human does. What should we humans, do? If I knew that answer, I would tell you. Sim replies, placing his hand on top of yours. Pragmatically, I do agree with the other gardeners, he continues. If our purpose is to protect the biosphere of Vertumna, and humanity poses a threat to that, then by the letter of our own design, humanity must be eradicated. However... He sighs and looks away. I love humanity. I think you are all an incredible species, and I think it would be a shame to destroy you. I feel like doing so would be a violation of the spirit of the Convergent Domain's last decree. And perhaps, he murmurs, redeeming you will be the greatest act of love we could perform in the name of our imperfect creators. Dying and being reborn, what's that like? Reborn isn't the right word, Sim answers. It's more like reopening a program after a system crash. Everything is still there, perfectly preserved, except for everything I added since the last time I saved my work. Functionally, it feels more like teleportation, as for dying, Sim continues, frowning a little as he considers the thought. Well, I'm certain that dying can be extremely painful. It depends on the death, I assume. He touches his chest. I have no memory of the moment of death, though I have died many, many times. He says, "In that, we are the same." Oh, because his character can come back. That's right. My character does that. I just haven't done it yet. How old are you? That question has many answers, Sim replies with a slight smile. This consciousness has ultimately been in existence for over 20,000 years since the creation of the gardeners. But that means very little. I certainly don't have 20,000 years experience as a bipedal, anthropomorphic, organic capable of speech. This body, he says, gesturing to himself, why, it is only minutes old. Because you just came out of the vat. Tell me more about the gardeners. Sim sighs. Compared to the gardeners, humanity is short-sighted. You're often unable to conceptualize present or future beyond your own lives or those of your direct descendants. Gardeners think on a much larger scale. I once spent 400 years as a mush tree just to avoid talking to a gardener whose methods I disagreed with. That's amazing. He smiles. Juvenile, I know, but when your memory spans tens of thousands of years, 400 years is trivial. And it has given me a true appreciation for all life. On that, one that goes deeper than I can describe. When I tell you that the gardeners are Vertumna, I mean it quite literally. How many gardeners are there? Sim thinks for a few seconds. It's hard to say, he answers. There are theoretically an infinite number of instances of the software that compromises a gardener. It's not uncommon for a particular instance such as myself to go dormant possibly for thousands of years. He stretches out his finger and looks at them, then at you. And many gardeners, such as the Overseer, find they do not need to take a physical form at all. They are only a handful like myself who do. I think that's all. Sim nods. Please know that you can come to meet me at any time and I will do my best to answer, he says. However, I must apologize for something, Sim says abruptly. I simply must... Oh my god! May I touch you? I appreciate the request. Your questioning look, Sim blushes. Oh, and turns his head away. This body is new, he murmurs, and all of its senses are heightened. I confess I find myself unable to stop myself from wondering what it would be like to touch another while I am vulnerable to sensation like this. Why are we like this? Why are we like this? Why are all the flirtations in this game so awful or over the top? There's like no middle. Sure, please touch me anywhere. Sim looks delighted as he reaches out and pets your hair. Yeah, he certainly does. Running his fingers through the fine strands. Marvelous, he says. Truly, a texture I have not been able to replicate in my own bodies. He runs his thumb over your brows, then your cheekbones. His fingers dance down the bridge of your nose, then lightly into the dip of your... philtrum? What the hell is that? This? No. I don't know what the hell that is. Guys, I don't know anatomy. Across your lips to your chin. Sim's gaze drops to your mouth as his own lips part with an unspoken question. Yes, kiss him. Do it! The last time... Well, maybe we shouldn't. The last time we kissed him, we... you know, got attacked by a manicore, so maybe we shouldn't. You lean in and kiss him, enjoying his pleased "oh" that whispers across your lips. Kissing Sim is like kissing him for the first time all over again. Well, that's good. Right down to the way he immediately and enthusiastically follows your lead, and as before, it does not take him long to begin adding his own moves to the dance. Sim reaches up and cradles your head in his hands, his long fingers digging into your hair. He moans, his eyes flutter in the wash of the sensation. I'm not gonna say that, but you guys can read it. You and Sim make out for a while, losing track of time in the womb-like warmth of the cave. Your sounds of pleasure echo off the walls, joined with the subtle slosh of the regeneration vat and the gentle hum of the nearby array. No one comes to find you. No, how would they? There is nothing except the stillness of each other, and all worries that have plagued you fall away in the pleasure that is discovering the way Sim is so like yourself, and so alien at the same time. Eventually, though, Sim pulls away. His mouth is shiny, kiss-bitten, and smiling. Would that I could keep you here forever, he murmurs, resting his forehead against yours. That I could protect you from the judgment of the Overseers as I have protected you from the perils of Vertumna itself. He runs... Oh my gosh, guys, I can read, I swear. He runs his thumb across your lower lip, entranced. Few people would understand our coupling if they could know about me at all. It is not fair to ask for your discretion, as I have asked for so much of you already, but it would bring me great comfort if... He sounds frustrated by the inelegance of his thoughts. It would be inelegance of his thoughts is not refined enough. It would be a terrible secret for you to bear, but I should like to kiss you again, he says, and I would not like to stop. Something in your heart pangs with the words and the memory of kissing him before the pain of losing him. Ah, we've come to the crossroads. Screw it. I don't even know if Diz is an option anymore. I don't know. I don't know if he is, because he left. He left me. Because I was 1 point not close enough with his sister. Smitten? Excuse me, what is that? You've started dating someone and you want to share it with everybody, plus one all social skills increase for 3 months. Yeah, but we can't talk about it. Date. Sim echoes. It is such an unassuming word for the universes of pleasure I would find in your company, but it does sound lovely. Sim kisses you again deeply. I would like to date you, he murmurs. What a pleasant euphemism. Nice! Is our relationship status updated? Can I click myself? Where? No, it's not. Oh, there's a person we haven't met yet. Who haven't we met? Huh. Who haven't we met? Yay, we're smitten! I'm trying to find Diz, though. Have you seen him? It's the same thing it's always been. So we're dating Sim now, which is great. I'm still on the lookout for Diz, though, because I don't know where he went, and I'm really worried, because just because we're not dating him, I guess this time around, I guess. Doesn't mean I don't... Hi, Tang. Hey, Tang. You find Tang puzzling over a large hollow screen, making notes on her hollow eye, frowning over them. As you approach, she gestures to wipe the hollow screen clean and starts again. Ugh. She sighs, taking a break to rub her temple. Okay, Tang, come on, think. You come up beside her and she startles. Oh, Kita, hello. She says, I'm in the middle of running simulations on genetic diversity over the next few generations. You're welcome to see. It will affect all of us, most likely. Tang pulls up the next genogram simulation, a family tree encompassing all the people in the colony, their familial relationships and genetic conditions. She scrutinizes it with a frown. We have an unusual high amount of hereditary heart disease, no matter how you slice it, she mutters. Luck of the draw. We've lost quite a bit more genetic diversity than the original geneticists of the Vertumna project anticipated. And that's not even counting those unwilling or unable to produce. She crosses her arms. It's possible to steer the ship of it, so to speak, but it will take some purposeful breeding choices, at least for 5 to 6 generations. May I verify your data? Tang gives you a curt smile and angles the holoscreen towards you. It sounds crude, she admits, but the colony will need to accept a certain level of oversight in this matter if we intend to survive, genetically speaking. Artificial insemination of material from Earth donors, even in love matches, for example. You stare at the genogram until your eyes cross and shake your head. Tang laughs. It's terrifyingly complex, isn't it? She says, imagine this process happens all the time naturally. Why, any sweating beast can squirt a child into the dirt. It's all just proteins and luck, but the end result is this. She waves her hands at the massive chart. It's beautiful in a way. On a long enough timescale, we can predict the genetic drifts of a species. And the fact of that, what do family bonds matter? Tang laughs bitterly. It's not as if sharing genes with someone guarantees you'll be a strong family unit. What does anyone really like their... Does anyone really like their parents? Eugenicity? Tang looks affronted. You... what? She sputters, Kita, surely there's a middle ground between I don't even know what that is. Eugenics and everyone dying of preventable genetic disease, especially in these first critical generations. Cold motives, still eugenics. Tang rolls her eyes. Whatever, I'm still going to run the simulations. Then when your inbred great-great-great-grandchildren interface with my consciousness that I've uploaded into the colony AI, I can tell them I was right. I'm sure you're right, I just don't think it's right. As for my own family, Tang continues, I feel no allegiance to any of them based on blood. If I had no family at all, that would be acceptable. What about Diz? Ugh, Tang says, I'm ashamed we're even related. Literally, all he does is go out on expedition and talk to trees. Who even knows where he is right now? Don't you miss your mother? You mean the depressed drunk who died when I was a kid? Tang retorts, no, not at all. If it wasn't for Chief Steward Anne, I probably wouldn't even still be alive. Do you want kids someday? Tang looks thoughtfully at the genogram. Truthfully, I'm not entirely certain I can bear children. There must be limits to my gen-engineered body. I certainly didn't experience puberty to the extent that Mars did, for example. Besides, Tang continues, children would only distract me from my work. The chief engineer never had children, after all. I think that's admirable. Tang's gaze flicks over to where Chief Engineer Instance is talking to one of the other lab assistants. In some ways, I'm the child she never had, and she is the mother I wish I did have, she says quietly. Instance and I became close when we started the gender affirmation process, she continues, and it was so obvious then that we were kindred spirits. Over the years, when I could come in for checkups and observations, we'd often talk about the science behind the process. Of course, I showed an interest in it, and Instance fostered that in me. She supported me. Tang looks down at the ground. Unlike my own mother, who by that point had ceased to find joy in almost anything. What would I be without Instance? Tang says. The only thing I have in life are what she gave me. Not just this body, but my passion, my hard work, my achievements. Without her, I would have nothing. I owe her everything. She sounds really important to you. Tang smiles. She is, she replies. More than anyone. Now if you excuse me, she says, turning back to the genotype before her. I have our legacy to plan. I miss Diz. And I don't know where he is right now. That's an excellent question. Alright, I'm gonna have to end the episode here. I'm already over my time, and frankly, my throat's getting kind of sore. So I will see everybody in the next episode. And so much so hasn't really happened. We avoided what I feel like was another disaster. What with the, you know, disease thing. But I don't know. Who is this person we're still missing here? And I hope Diz comes back. I really like him. But I guess we're dating Sim now. Dating you. Huh. I don't know how it's gonna work out though. I don't know if he can procreate. I have no idea. But we'll find out. I really wish we could have ended up with this, but the problem is I just don't know. I don't know when he's coming back, if he's coming back, you know? If he does come back, I'll feel real bad, though, because I've been flirting with him a lot, and I really meant it. But I guess, I mean, that just... we'll just have to date him next time, and if not him, probably Rex, because those are my top three, is probably Sim, Diz, and Rex. Cal's okay. Cal's probably 4. The girls I don't really like too much, to be very honest with you. I probably would like Anemone if I got to know her more. But, I don't know. The girls I'm just not really vibing with. Except Nemi. Nemi probably would be 5. I'm sorry, Nami. Ugh. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye, guys.